Hello, welcome back to another tutorial. Last week I did the McLaren GT4, which was running on Daytona. Since the IMSA is running it this week on GT3 and the 24 hours of Daytona is this weekend, I decided to do another one in a car which we're running on our own by ourselves on the McLaren GT3. The brake markers are fairly similar, the lines are very similar. The biggest difference is that the McLaren has a lot of understeer and this car has a lot of oversteer. Um, and this is me basically starting the lap and going in all the way to the right, looking for my brake markers and sticking it close to the wall. And once I am almost at the pole, I start braking in and lifting off, keeping a fairly steady braking pressure, going all the way to the right over the line and leaving a little bit of margin on the left. And then I start bleeding off the brakes while I turn in and I shift back all the way to first gear. You are able to keep it up in second if you want to. I decided not to do it. I did this because I wanted to get the good turn in, to get on the throttle as soon as possible in a straight line. You see me building it up all the way to about 80% and trying to avoid the traction control kicking in. Turn the car in a straight line, get as much speed as possible on this short straight, take it all the way to the left and look for the next brake marker, which is the 100 meter sign or 100 yard sign or whatever you want to call it. And then once I pass it, I start braking a little bit earlier. You can brake after that, you can brake before this. Play with this to your style, but the brake marker you want to use is this 100 mark. Turn in, take a shallow line towards the horseshoe, and you see me applying again a fairly steady brake pressure, and once I'm at the apex of the corner, I start braking even harder to get the car to get an extra turn in. So bleeding off quickly, building up the throttle, again lifting off a bit to avoid the traction control, building it up again all the way to 75% and again avoid the traction control, so that's why I'm building it up. Full throttle, avoid this little curve on the left. Go all the way to the right and position yourself for the left-hander of the kink, which is coming up. Try to clip this curve so you get a good turn in and you don't wash out all the way to the right and you have to take extra meters to the left. And once you're there, start braking halfway through the cones, applying a lot of brake pressure and then easing it off a little bit by little bit. Hence you don't want to overspeed this and don't want to overshoot this. So bleeding it off. And then look for the white marker on the right. There's a difference in subtlety. There it is. And basically when I see this, I start to stop braking and try to start going on the throttle again. Don't go all the way to 100% immediately. This is the spot where the traction control will kick in. So build it up again and leave it at the plateau. Go full throttle, wash out to the left and position yourself for the next corner, which is one of the most important corners on track, running towards the oval. Get all the way to the right, look for this cone, and once the hood passes that cone, start braking on 75%. Hit this curb, so utilize the whole track, and once your right front is clear of the curb, start turning in and start bleeding off the brakes. Turn in, try to clip this curb as well, keep it in second gear. The track temps were 18 degrees on this track, on this session. The Daytona will be hotter, probably will be like 26 or 27, and you might want to consider shifting back to first gear, but on the IMSA you can keep it in second. Use the whole track, go wide, again avoiding the traction control and using the whole track to get as much speed as possible towards the oval. Go up high and stick it down low on the oval and avoid the yellow line here. The banking is stopping at when the yellow line starts, so you want to use the whole banking. Go up to position yourself for the bus stop, and once you're up there, look for the pole on the right. So this is your brake marker. Want to brake, you can brake on once you pass the pole, so once you're on it, or you can start braking a little bit earlier. I would not advise to brake later. You want to use the exit speed on this bus stop and not the entry speed. And since the longest straight is on the second part, you want to use everything you got on that. So brake in, and you see me applying pressure and bleeding it off all the way through the bus stop. And it's a very long braking zone, and you want to control your brakes, and you want to control the car. So you turn in and keep the car all the way to the left. Don't clip this grass, because then you will get enough track. Stick it to the left and still braking in. So it's a very, very long braking zone. Try to straighten up the car and avoid this bit of grass. You can clip this a little bit, but it's still sketchy. So watch out with that. Try to straighten the car a little bit to use the throttle. So I'm already back on the throttle, building it up as soon as possible, and trying to get the same angle as the outside of the sausage curb, which is there. So I turn in, and once you notice you got the same angle as the sausage curb, you can almost go flat out, but try to avoid this X here so you don't get the off track. Straighten the car up, be gentle here, and use the whole track. Don't stick it on the yellow line in the beginning. Once you want a hot lap, you can go down, so you use the banking of the oval to get a little bit more speed on it, and go low, go straight down to the left. Keep the shortest line towards the start finish line, and now it's just clip flat out. Try to avoid this grass you might clip, also will cost you like 100s. So the lap I did was a 1:42.488. If you guys have any questions, and need any tips, any comments, leave them in the comments as well. PM me on Discord for the telemetry if you want it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm really enjoying doing the tutorials and track guides. I hope I can help you guys out. If you have any tips, just leave them as well. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and all that shit, you know. Alright, cool guys. See you guys later.